And so you guys probably should get the little notice now that we're going to start. So 1:30, we're starting on time. We're going to let everybody in as they come. And I'm hoping here for our mastermind and recap that I've got some superstars here on that were at the event. So that's why I don't have to talk as much. And we can get opinions and also get some collaboration on everything. As you can see, I'm still excited. I'm even more amped up than normal, right? I got my hands in it right now, even though it's stuff here, my neck look big. Okay, there we go. And here comes Stephanie. So we're doing pretty good stuff. One of the things I would like to at least start off saying at this eXpcon, we've gone to, we meaning Pilar and I, we've gone to each one of the eXpcons and the shareholder meetings since we've been with EXP. But I have to tell you, man, this was huge. There were over, I don't know what kind of events you guys have ever been to, but just imagine being somewhere and there's 6,000 people. I mean, there were 6,000 real estate agents at this convention, and it felt like, 100,000 just because it was so many people there. But it also gets you into the enormous size that EXP is growing to. I mean, this thing about me, we pretty much, there was another convention there as well, but we pretty much took over the Mandalay Bay. We took over the Mandalay Bay from restaurants to casinos to obviously the actual eXpcon. And I also want to thank everyone on the team that not only went, but we were able to have some fun with, had a really nice dinner, had a lot of laughs and a lot of fun and a lot of collaboration. So like Michael and Rodney and Stephanie and Greg, Laura, we had a really good time. So I would like to start off with, for me, besides of the amount of people that were there, it re-energized me as far as the synergy of our company. And I came out with just a whole bunch of notes, and I kind of went like old school, where I went and retyped my notes. You ever do that? You go to something and you write notes down or you take notes, and then they're just like they go into the drawer. So I think I went into the drawer and found notes that I took from January and another event. I'm like, hey, this isn't good. So I retyped all of my notes. Well, it took me a while because I had written the notes at the event. And of course, I can't read my own writing. So I had to really concentrate on what I wrote to type it, which was very good, though. It almost gave me the experience of doing it over again. And that was wonderful. So what I would like to do is, and by the way, any of you guys, if you can, you should start planning for eXpcon next year, if you can. They've already got the tickets or early bird pricing. I believe that they have. If they don't have it, I'm sure they'll do it. They did it this year, where they had like payment plans and stuff like that coming in. So if you guys can, I think it's gonna be in Vegas again next year. I think that you should try to come. Try to get the experience. You're gonna obviously get an awful lot of information, but try to get the experience when you come. And you'll just be amazed, because even with 6,000 people there, we are at 85,000 plus agents now. I mean, can you imagine? There are 85,000 of us, and even though 6,000 people are a lot of people, that's not even 10% of the company that was there. Imagine as this thing continues to grow. So one of the things that I actually like, and I'm going to ask everybody else to jump in for me in a second, is at this particular one, they had, they had an app. So on the app, you could actually plan your days out. And they had events in the app, who was where, what was speaking, because there was continuously, you had like your general sessions, which, I'm sure that we'll talk about. And then you had like modules of stuff. So let's say you were more into wanting to look at a basic lead generation, basic agent production stuff. And then let's say that maybe you were you're on a team and or a team leader, and you wanted more advanced stuff. They had modules for specifically that. And then if you were into agent attraction, or you're trying to learn a little bit more about it, they had that. If you're into REOs or relocation, they actually had modules that you could take classes and get certified to handle REOs and or to handle relocation stuff. And they have these opportunities available for us at EXP right now. You can still do them without going to the event, but the classes are over weeks. They actually go for a 3-hour module, and you can actually get certified and now be in position as EXP is reaching out, and their companies reaching out to us. I mean, there are 85,000 of us, right? These companies are reaching out to us now because they see us as a strong and a viable a network, which I think is fabulous. So all that being said, I would like to begin to ask some of my people that were at the event, and I'll pick on Michael first, because I know Michael's always the most organized. He's the most, so he's gonna have his stuff ready, because he always does. And we had a great time. Then Michael's wife came up, and we had a great time at dinner as well. So it was a lot of fun. So Mike, give me start off with, what did you think of the conference overall, and give me 2 or 3 points that really stuck out to you that you think would be very helpful for the team.
Okay. Well, the first overall, the conference in general was just great. Like you've been to before, I was at last year's eXpcon, and it just blew that one out of the water to me. I mean, it was a lot bigger, more organized, with the app a little bit more, connected and everything. So one thing I would tell anybody who's gonna go to one is just make sure, like you said, you plan a little bit ahead of time. You look at what's going on so you can plan your schedule out, and you can make the best advantage of the time there. So one thing that was really blowing me away about this event, though, especially, is the connection and the collaboration. I mean, we share and we hear about it, we talk about it all the time here, but when can I walk up to somebody who's, top producer or top agent attractor or something, and just walk up to them and just say, hey, how are you doing it? And they sit there and they'll take 5-10 minutes, or say, hey, let's go grab a coffee, and let me know what they're doing. And that's after they've been on stage talking to 6,000 people or something. So, I mean, if you look at some of the people that are in the company, you'll see some big names, and they're all there and they're accessible. You can just walk up and they're open, willing to talk to you. So that was one huge thing. Another thing really that I took out of it is just that consistency. I was listening to Mike Sherrard speak, and he was talking about, agent attraction, but he was also talking just about, lead generation, how they're so similar when we're talking about building clients and we're trying to work with getting agents. And he just had the thought that, if you can't do it for a lifetime, don't do it for a day. Don't just start it and just say, I'm going to do it for one day and then expect results. Make it something that you're willing to do. Make it, like your diet. You're not going to just change your diet for one day. You're going to have a lifestyle change. And that's really was huge. And I think that stamps out. So whatever we take, what we learn from these things or from other people, if we're going to implement them, make sure that you're implementing them long term.
Guys, just sorry about that. I've had a couple more people here we're letting in the room. That's great. That's great. Greg, give me a shout out, man. Oh, and by the way, you guys, congratulate Greg. I forgot about that. Greg what was that award that you got, man? We had a couple people on our team get awards, and Greg was one of them. Go ahead and tell them what that thing was you got, man.
It's the Agent of the Year for the Affinity Program, which covers the relocation program within EXP. So, I mean, that's been a great lead source for myself up here in the Seattle market. It's been about 18% of our revenue that's come in this last year. If I've last when I looked over our numbers and stuff, big relocation companies, and back in the last housing crash, I jumped into the REO game. And so, I'm also REO certified with EXP, but asset managers don't want to deal with if you think about across every state, anywhere from 5 to 15 agents per state, times that by 50 states, they want to deal with one person. So that's why they come to companies like eXp, that is a nationwide brokerage, to basically run these programs. So,
What was your Greg? What was your biggest aha moment?
oh yeah, you asked me to choose my favorite child with only the biggest aha moment. It's one of those aspects, and I loved it when we got a chance to sit down for dinner. And those are some of the best things about going to these conferences, because we all get a chance to see each other in the Zoom world here. But I didn't realize how big Michael is until I actually was sitting across the table from him, type of aspect. I mean, it's just, there's something about being in person and stuff, but in that aspect. So, some of my biggest things that I enjoyed about this particular conference was, first and foremost, your main stage people. I mean, you're kind of, when we're all in the same room, 6,000 people strong, big stage going on, everything going on, before we go out to like our breakout rooms and to the different tracks. And then alongside with that is the chance to actually sit down and grab a cup of coffee. Kind of like what Michael was saying. It's like, hey, let's talk, let's chat. What are you doing in your marketplace? That's the really, really cool thing, is because, especially as, real estate, and the other thing I loved about this was, from Glenn Sanford to Michael Valdez to everybody out there, all being very, very blunt, that, hey, we're having this shift. Real estate, the market is shifting. We're having the market, this isn't the market we had 2 years ago, type of aspect. We're in a transitioning type of market. So let's be upfront about what we need to do and how we roll with this, this transition. Before going down to EXP conference, I was actually at an economic forum, for a countywide economic forum. And on the stage had 4 people that were afraid to use the R word, the recession word. And it's like, okay, hey, you sticking your head in the sand is not going to help, hoping it blows over and doesn't isn't going to work in this particular situation. So being able to, the collaboration, be able to one-on-one communication, be able to talk to these heavy hitters in these other marketplaces, going, what are you doing? Be able to show examples of, hey, this is what what I'm doing for marketing. Let me take a look at yours, type of aspect. And then the final aspect is just seeing all the cool things that the company is doing behind the scenes, like with their new luxury branding. That's the tools that they're coming in with their luxury branding. And I tell you what, if you're looking at luxury, you want to get into luxury, or you're into luxury, look at eXp Luxury. I mean, the tools they have on the backside. I belong to the Institute of Luxury Home Marketing. It's blowing those tools way out of the marketplace. And it's once again one of those aspects within eXp Realty. It's like everything that they're doing, they're so agent forward, they're so agent conscious of how to make our lives more better and how to make us more productive.
That's great. That's great, man. Hey, let me ask you, this one of the things that I've noticed as well is, am I echoing to you guys?
Yes.
Okay, sorry about that. Is that better?
Better.
Better, okay.
Is Pilar in the same room with you?
Huh?
Is Pilar in the same room with you?
Yeah, she's having trouble logging on, but she's here now. Yeah, so.
It may be because both of your computers are there.
Yeah, no, probably. So yeah, we'll mute and unmute. We got used to it. So, but one of the, one of the things that Greg just said, which I really appreciated, and I'm sure for those of you that actually look at and watch, at least one out of every 50 videos I send to you guys. But one of the things that means a lot to me is, there's so many people that are out talking about soft landings and the prices aren't going to really go down. They're gonna, hey, listen, man, this is a free for all. Now, I don't mean it's a free for all like it's crashing, but I mean that anybody that thinks that the market is anywhere near what it was in like January, or anybody that thinks that right now we're at where we're at and it's just going to just stay the same, we're going to have this little, you haven't been in the market long enough for that, because that's just not what it does. And I think that we have to become in the mindset that, man, we got to work, and not just to work to help ourselves, but this is the best time to build market share and to build mind share. with the public and with the customers. But the only way you do that is if you're prepared for it yourself. And there's a few quotes that I took out of it that I think are great. But like I said, I'm not going to do all the talking for a change. Mr. Rodney Johnson, sir, I'm coming to you, man. First of all, we had a lot of fun. Rodney and I always have a good time. You guys, me and Rodney know each other forever. And first of all, I think Rodney was the most colorful person of the crew when he when he came in, which was great. The other thing though is, Rodney, can you give everybody maybe a couple of give an overview of the eXpcon, and also maybe give us your top couple of aha moments as we go through this thing.
Sure. Well, when you sponsored me 3.5 years ago, EXP had 19,000 agents. And now it's amazing the explosive growth that's happened during that time. We're over 85,000 agents now. So really, really remarkable growth there. You started off by saying, Elgin, that you wrote things down. I just want to say, I heard a quote by a best-selling author, and he said, the shortest pencil is greater than the longest memory. And that's so true, because my anniversary date is February 5th. And be now almost 8 years ago, I went away to Santa Barbara just to spend the day, just to think and plan and all that kind of stuff. And I wrote down some really, really remarkable things about where I felt the market was going. And 6 months later, I came across what I had written down, and I'd forgotten a lot of it. And it was important stuff, like the next 7 years, it's just like Joseph in his dream, he's going to be 7 years of plenty and then 7 years of famine. Well, I mean, so I needed to make hay during those 7 years. And thankfully, I did make hay during those 7 years. But here's the other thing. In the Bible, it says that Isaac sowed seed in a time of famine, and he reaped 100 times what he had sown. And in 2008, a lot of you have heard this story before, but it bears repeating. In January of 2009, I woke up early one morning. I'm stumbling across the room trying to not wake my wife up. And I hear this inner voice saying, you can control your thoughts. I thought, well, the election that we had in 2008, they were saying this is the worst recession since the Great Depression. And yes, they did use the R word there, Greg. They did use the R word. And so that's where my mind went. Then I thought, if you can control your thoughts, you can control your world. So I decided right then and there, I was not going to participate in the recession. And so I told my team, I said, hey, guys, I'm changing my voicemail and we're not going to participate in this recession. And my voicemail said something like, hey, this is Rodney. Thanks for calling. By the way, we're not participating in the recession. If you'd like to join us, leave a message at the beep. And we went that year, 2008 or 2009, from being a $10 million a year producer to being a $20 million a year producer. And that was in a time when the market was doing this. I mean, talking about free falling, it was free falling. So now coming back to eXpcon, on Thursday, I was looking at the available panel discussions and things that were available in the afternoon, and all of them wanted you had to be a member of the VIP. You had to have paid extra to do that. And so I went over to the information desk and I said, how much more would it cost me if I were to pay to go to these sessions? Because the sessions were health is wealth. Okay, that's very, very important. The second one, the one I really, really wanted to see, was being led by our CEO, who is a billionaire, by the way. It was the billionaire mastermind mindset. And that's when I really wanted to go. And then the last one, which also required the VIP upgrade, was Brent Gove, who is just crushing it with agent attraction. So I went over and found out it's going to be another $799. And I thought, okay, I'm going to go to lunch. I'll come back. I'll let you know. Well, anyway, I called a friend of mine who does have a billionaire mindset. He's not a billionaire yet, but I believe that he will be in time. I said, should I pay the $799? He said, yes. And then call me when you're done and let me know what what they said. So here were some of my takeaways from that billionaire mindset. Glenn Sampson said that his dad had raised him to believe that getting a job was riskier than being an entrepreneur. And I thought, wow, what a great way to look at it. That, and so I wrote that down, Elgin. I wrote that down. I haven't converted it yet to typing it out, but it's on my notes there. Then there's another gentleman who has created a video, which I would encourage you all to go look at if you're interested at all in agent attraction. And it's Rob Flick, and that's spelled F-L-I-C-K. And it's put in YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in Rob Flick, and then the wealth chart. And he shows in there how he goes about doing agent attraction. And he's got like a 9-minute version and a 25-minute version. And if you're interested at all in agent attraction, that would be the thing to check out. And I got to say, for me, I'm seeing, we went from 19,000 agents to 85,000 agents in 3.5 years. Why am I not getting more of that share of the pie? So the third VIP event that I went to was with Brent Go. And he gave me some things here about concentrating on attracting agents who are doing 10 or more deals a year, and just focusing in on them, because they're going to provide the impetus, the momentum for your company. And then you can also help, like what I'm doing right now with mentoring and bringing in people that are brand new agents. I love helping them, and that's great. I also need everyone. I need people that are doing 10 to 20 deals a year. And hopefully we've got a guy signing up today. In fact, I don't see him on here yet because I think he's onboarding right now, but he did 22 deals last year. And so that's where my focus and mind shift is shifting to, because the market is changing, but I don't believe that it's going to be a year of lack. I don't believe it's going to be a year of famine, because again, I'm choosing not to participate in the recession. And those were some of the things. They didn't say it in those words, but that's in essence what they meant, is just keep your mindset on what it is that you want, looking toward the goal, and forget everything else.
That's great stuff, Rodney. And you know what? For you guys, I hope that you guys caught a couple of those nuggets. The first one is, as you know, it's not inexpensive to go to eXpcon. And this guy went ahead and basically, it's like buying another ticket. It's like buying another ticket to get in the room, which is one of the notes that I took down, is that you want to be in the room with big thinkers. You want to be in the room with people that are doing more than what you're doing, that thoughts are just expanded. You don't want to be the big fish in the little pond. So for someone to make that type of a commitment, then, because Rodney told me when he was there, he was like, man, I'm getting ready to go do this. And I was like, I think there were only like 2 tickets left when he got it. The tickets just popped up. So are you guys investing in your business like this? So one of the things that I really get out of eXpcon and the events too is really treating this like a business. I know you guys just kind of going through this being a salesperson. Nothing wrong with that, but we're business people. We're really entrepreneurs. We're really entrepreneurs, and the product that we have is that we just help families with their real estate needs. One of the things that as we're talking about the market shifting, there was a guy named Frank Gray. And one of the things that I took note of that Frank said is the market factors will never dictate his income. No matter what the market is doing, he is going to succeed in that market. He is not going to allow his mindset. He's not going to allow the news. He's not going to allow anything to dictate his income other than his, where he called it living furiously. Okay. So that was a tidbit that I really, really liked from that. I'm going to ask one of our newcomers, Stephanie. Stephanie came and she made a commitment. I know that she just went 1000% full time. Finally, actually changed her business. She had a business forever that she decided to retire and came to eXpcon. I believe this is your first one, right, Stephanie? So give us what you thought overall. Give us if you thought it was worth it, and then give us a couple of your best takeaways, please.
This is actually my second year, and I will say that I got way more out of it this year. It was wow. Like my brain, I didn't sleep Saturday or Sunday night. Everything was in my mind. I'm like, I don't know. Like I'm so motivated. It literally lit that fire under my butt that I needed to just get out there, figure out where I want to be, who I want to be, who I want to help. And I figured it out. I know where I want to help in my community and where I'm going to market myself. But a few things that I took away from it was one thing that I heard several times over and over again was surround the people around you that are successful and positive, because that will make you who you are. If you hang around people that are negative and not, trying to achieve goals, that's where you're gonna stay. And I'm fortunate because I get to be with all of you guys, and that makes me feel great because you guys are all successful. So I know I will be successful. It's like I said, I took away a lot of it was I sat in different classes on how you market yourself, and the one thing that I got from it was everyone has their own way. There's no one way to market yourself. The way to market yourself is where you feel comfortable and whom you want to help in your community, and that's where you need to put your passion and your drive into, and that will make you successful. And the other thing I took away was a sense of the community and family. I mean, everyone there. I mean, I met so many agents. I did the speed referral, the speed dating, and it was like it felt like so. Those were the things I mainly.
You're going in and out on us a little bit, Stephanie. Looks like you're muted.
Yeah, I just muted because I didn't know if you were trying to talk.
Oh, no. That's okay. Go right ahead. Finish your thoughts.
Where did you guys last hear?
You were talking about the referrals and meeting people and family first, and not the different ways of marketing yourself, and that there's not one way.
Yes. So everyone has their own way, and the way you'll be successful is finding your way, what you're compassionate about, and that's what I took away. One of the biggest things I took away.
Well, no, those are great things, and I would also say too that obviously you've been doing a really great job. As some of you guys may or may not know, that Stephanie is also a certified mentor now. And we have some great certified mentors here in our own personal success team, and Rodney and Michael, and if anybody I'm forgetting, I don't know, Greg, if you are or not, and Greg as well. So, we have a very strong group here, which is great. By the way, Rodney humbly, which Rodney ain't the humblest, he'll tell you, I'm just teasing Rodney, but Rodney called me driving back home from the convention. And as he's mentioned, he turned his mindset into certain parts of agent attraction. And he called me to tell me that there was a gentleman that called him. Now, I want you to understand that they called him. Rodney didn't initiate this conversation. This is someone that he happens to know. And why you talk about agent attract, we didn't say agent recruit, agent attract. and he was able to, the gentleman that I'm for sure he's probably talking about now, that's getting ready to on board, has other agents on his team possibly coming, but he is a strong capping, probably icon producing agent. So just, although Rodney was being extremely humble, that was a time for him not to be humble. That's great. And that's from him transforming just his mindset and his thought patterns. And he has that coming, which is fantastic. So congratulations, Rodney. So I'm going to ask, and I'm going to mute myself so you guys don't get the echo. I'm going to ask my wife, Pilar, to come in and give some of her takeaways, because her takeaways are different from mine. And I know that she has some great ones, and we talked about some of them together. So Pilar, go ahead. I'll mute and you unmute.
All right, and then the FedEx guy just pulled up, so hopefully our dog doesn't go lose his mind right now. Sorry if he does. But yeah, see, told you. So I can't even begin to tell you all of the amazing things that I took from it, because it was just one thing after another. Every single session that I sat in on, I was like, my mind was blown. And to also be in the presence of Brent Gove was great, because it's not every day you get to hug a billionaire. So that's always nice. But I mean, we had a great time, like Elgin said, getting together for dinner and lunch with some of our success team is always an amazing thing, because we all get to network and brainstorm together. But in general, I mean, where would I start? I mean, I took the REO fast track certification program, which was 3 hours. And so now I'm REO certified. So it's like, how often can you do that? Listening in on sessions regarding buyers, I got some nuggets that I had never thought of. Like, for example, the person, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, unfortunately, but he was saying, when you go to show a home, don't just go and open the lockbox and go on in. Stand in the middle of the street and survey the neighborhood. Look at the street and point out some information. Say to your buyers, what would you do differently with this house, with the facade of this house compared to the other houses? Give them time to let it sink in, look around. And while they're looking around and you give them that homework to, decide what they would do differently, go and open the lockbox. So you're not that agent that's trying to get in the lockbox and looking crazy when it doesn't open right away. And then give yourself 30 seconds to run through the house real quick, open or turn on the lights and, make sure everything looks good, and get your own little quick preview of the house before you bring them in. And then once you bring them in, it's settled, you're ready. And, that type of thing. Listening to agents talk about how they, do not cut their commissions at a time like this, when sellers think that they can sell their own houses because the market is supposedly so easy right now. Saying, I have a 8% commission program and a 7% and a 6%, and then talk about your 8% being for your luxury or overseas clients, and then work down, and so that they don't feel like anything under 6 is even a possibility. I mean, I don't know, I could go on all day, but at the end of the day, being in a hotel with 6,000 plus other agents from this amazing company, and being able to network and getting to meet new people is worth its weight in gold. I mean, like Elgin said, it's not cheap to go to eXpcon or any of the events that the company puts on, but at the end of the day, you leave with so much that you would have never gotten just, without going. So if it's at all possible, if you got to put $50 aside here and there, whatever you need to do to be there in the room next year, please do yourself that favor, do your business that favor, because it'll never be the same. I mean, I took notes and more notes, and I've been going over them every day, and I got some great stuff. I know this 2023, we're going to kill it. So that's what I took from it.
Thank you. I would also say out to you guys too, is that if you start saving now, a little bit. And even if you get to a point where you don't stay in the same hotel room, whatever the case may be, just get out there. And if you're getting close and you're putting forth an effort, and you're putting forth a real effort to participate in the things that we're doing here, and to get to eXpcon and all that, and you get close, but you need a little help, don't be ashamed to reach out to us, and let's see if we can all help each other, because we're all looking to grow and help things out. I don't want anybody to not experience eXpcon, because of it's just the financial situation. I can't pay for all of y'all. I'm just gonna put that out there. Don't y'all start looking about calling me out to go, no, he ain't either. But if you're getting out there and you're trying to do it and you're a little short, honestly, or whatever the case may be, don't, reach out to me privately and let's see what we can do to see what we can get you down there with. I would also tell you that if you are looking to grow your agent attraction, or you can call it recruiting if you want to, I don't care. But if you're looking to grow that residual side of your income, of your business, if you can bring just one person to large events like this, it'll change your business life. Because just imagine, versus you trying to quote unquote sell EXP to someone, that you bring them to an event, quote unquote entering a recession, in a recession, whatever you want to call it, and there's 6,000 people there to pay to come. There's 6,000 people there at that event. Does that make our business look stronger? Because obviously we're in the cloud, so you don't see there's no EXP commercials on during the Super Bowl on every 5 minutes, and there's no huge stuff like that. But our business is growing. Our business model is working. Our business model is disruptive. Just imagine being able to do that. And that being said, and I'll continue to put a few things in the chat that are words of wisdom, or words or sentences and things that really stuck out to me. One of the biggest things I would tell you guys, though, is that when you're looking at quote unquote agent attraction or recruiting, one of the easiest and biggest ways is to be more productive. Because everyone that, I shouldn't say everyone, the majority of people that were doing quote unquote numbers as far as agent attraction and recruiting were also really, really busy as far as their personal business. Because guess what? If your personal business is going and you're working with the agent on the other side, and what people watch people know, it's kind of like being on Facebook and everybody doesn't, you're in somebody's news feed, they might not like your thing, but they're reading it and they're scrolling, right? So there are people that are watching you with your business. And if your business is growing, people want to know what you're doing different than what they're doing. They want to know what's different between them. The other thing I would tell you is learn eXp's business model. Really learn the business model so that you can really, you have to believe you're at the best company. You have to believe when someone tells you, oh, the company is a MLM, or oh, all everybody does is recruit. Let me tell you something. There's no revenue. There's no revenue to give if there's no revenue that's coming in. And the way we get revenue coming in is we're helping buyers and sellers. We're productive. Some of the most productive real estate people in the world are here with eXp. There's some pretty strong, productive people right now in this call that have built their businesses, fed and raised their families on real estate and real estate opportunities. So that's the first thing. The other thing, though, that I picked up on is, with the market changing the way it is that you have to really be disciplined, really be disciplined on your lead generation. Whatever your lead generation is, I don't care if it's door knocking, I don't care if it's posting to social media, you need a strategy and you need to be consistent with it, because it's probably going to be boring. It's probably going to be a pain in the behind. And it is going to it is going to put you in a position though to where you'll have more success, because what people are going to do is they're going to do a little bit of something and they're going to stop or quit or not be consistent enough before you hit the pay dirt. Chuck Fazio, if you guys don't know who Chuck is, and him and his wife had one of the largest independent brokerages, I believe, I think they're in Arizona. And they have one of the biggest independent brokerages. He talks about them moving their whole operation to eXp. He talks about leaving people from his last company behind just to come here, take 2 steps back, and then now to become one of the top agents in the country. You know, and that's on any brokerage. But one of the things that he mentioned too that I really along the line of what brought me on this topic is embrace the process. There's no instant gratification. You must embrace the process. You embrace the pain. You push through it, and you seize the moment. You seize the moment, because some of you have heard me say this. We're coming up into January. What happens for all the realtors? What happens for us in January? In January, our dues are due. There are going to be people, unfortunately, that are not going to invest back into their business like Rodney invested. Rodney invested what the dues are going to be just to go to a couple of classes. That's a commitment. That is a commitment. If there are less people in the business, and I don't want to see anyone not continue to move forward, but if there are less people in the business, for those of us that are doing like Chuck Fazio says, the success that we're going to see, where we're going to be prepared, we're not only going to be able to make it, we're going to thrive. And when the market turns back into something insane, we are already going to be positioned to it's like we're planting the seeds. At that point, we're just picking the fruit. When other people are going to be trying to plant and look for a fast track. So think of that. Also, I don't know if you guys have went or begun to listen to Terrence Murphy. And Terrence Murphy was one of the presenters. Terrence is a former football player, still a young guy that actually used to play for the Green Bay Packers. He was paralyzed on a Monday night football game, which is probably why he's not still a football player. You know, he's fine, all that other good stuff. But Terrence had one of the larger independent brokerages near College Station in Texas. And he had built a $1 billion real estate business as far as production goes with only 40 agents. Now he's moved his whole company over. He's been at eXp 15 months. In 15 months, he's icon twice. In 15 months. And he's already now one of the top agent attracting influencers, and his team is building. If you guys go look at his story, a couple of things that he said that we should all do, which I'll put in your ear, is that we should have 3 lead generation strategies. He said, don't do 5, 10, 15, 20, it's too much. But we should have 3 lead generation strategies. And you pick whatever they are that you're going to stay with and you're going to stick with. He also said that you only need to do it 3 days a week. He said, if you do 3 days a week with 3 lead generation strategies for 3 hours a day, that your business will explode. And I'm a firm believer in that. Some of you guys have heard me talk about the 5s that you should do. You should make 5 phone calls, 5 personal notes, 5 videos maybe, and 5 texts to people on a daily basis on where that'll take you. So that being said, let me ask this question to anybody that went to that was at the event. Were there particular income producing activities that really caught your eye, where you said, okay, I'm adding that to my business? any particular incoming producers, and anybody want to jump in, let's jump in, because there are an awful lot of people on our team right now and on the call that they're just starting to build their businesses, and we need them to be as productive and as successful as possible. Somebody give me well, here, I'll just call Michael out. Oh, Stephanie, Stephanie put her hand up. Go ahead, Steph.
So one of the one classes that I went to was about military and first responders, and really hit me to my heart because I deal with a lot of teachers. I have military in the family, and hearing the stories of people that have built their businesses by just helping the military, that's where I kind of want to focus my business now too.
Let me ask you this. So since and I appreciate you putting that out there. So you're going to focus on that. So what idea did you take that you're going to implement right away to now move and focus your business on military personnel?
So I've actually already done two of the things. One is I've been in contact with Homes for Heroes and already have that ball rolling, sorry. And I'm also taking the military relocation certification course through CAR.
That's fantastic. Good for you. Good for you. Michael, hit me with something. What do you got? I don't know if you guys don't know because you probably don't have the same access that some of us have. But Michael deserves a big round of applause. I don't know how many of them it is because they keep coming in. If you keep looking on Facebook and you keep seeing all these people come in talking about welcome to the team and welcome to EXP, you keep seeing these things. Well, guess what? Guess who is sponsoring these people? Michael is on a roll, man. What is it, 10, 12 people like in the last 60 days or so? With every day somebody's coming on that's on. I gotta keep writing welcome. So he deserves a big hand of that, particularly for those of you, and I'm going to say this, particularly for those of you that maybe you have not had any agent attraction yet. Maybe you haven't either, for whatever reason, gone there yet, feel like you can't do it no matter what the case. Michael didn't start off doing that. He didn't start off doing that, and all of a sudden, though, he's been able to build his business to that. So I applaud Michael for that. And anyway, go ahead, my man.
Thank you. It's 18 in the last 60. I've had it. So good. So, no, one thing that I really picked up, and I went to, it was a Ricky Caruth who offers free coaching. So anybody who's here that needs extra coaching, there's the 0 to Diamond program. You can go in and get free coaching. So that's something to implement in your business. But there was another gentleman there was speaking. I forgot his name. That was the one I didn't write down. But he was talking about a 65 drip campaign, a campaign that we would be able to put our clients on in our contacts and everything, where we touch them 65 times a year. And it was basically, he gave us a formula. It's a weekly newsletter. So it's really, I'm going in to my KV Core, I'm putting together my weekly newsletter so I'll be able to get out and contact all my clients and everybody in my database 52 times a year. I touch them through the holiday. And if I do a voicemail text blast 2 times a year, that's touching them 65 times a year, being in front of their face, talking to them where I'm not actually, hounding them down that they're going to see me. And then mix that in with your check-in calls and everything that you do. How can they forget that you're a realtor? Every week they get something in you. So that's my step. I'm working this week on putting together my my weekly newsletter so I can start to really have a template for it to get it out. And that alone right there, that should help generate, a ton of leads that I'll be able to follow up with.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Hey, Greg, what about you? And I know a lot of people don't realize some of the great things and how many people you actually help and serve up there in your area, and the business background that you have. What did you pick up that you're sharing with some of the members of your own success tree that you're growing?
It's very similar to what Michael just got done saying. I was actually kind of going through looking at my notes here real quick so I could get the stats. And it may have been the exact same session that we were sitting in, but 5% of your audience is in the consideration stage when we're talking about real estate. So if all we're blasting is like, hey, just listed, just sold, real estate this, real estate that, that's just noise that, it's kind of like when you're watching television, all of a sudden they go to they go to commercials and you pick up your phone, you start playing with it because it's just noise. It has nothing to do with you. Type of aspect, unless unless you're in that consideration stage, like unless if you're looking for a car, all of a sudden you're paying attention to the car ads. If you're looking for a house, all of a sudden you're seeing all the real estate ads out there. And it was one of those like, so how do you stay in flow with them? How do you stay of value with them? And it was talking about, hey, diving into like community events and what's going on in the neighborhoods and stuff like that. So I'm going through kind of because my business, we cover such a large region of the Puget Sound that we're chunking it down into different segments so that we can start doing like a monthly calendar of events. It's going to go to specifically if somebody's like in the Tacoma area or the Bellevue / Eastside area, the Seattle area, the Olympia area, these are going to be events that are going to be tailored towards them. And it just kind of helps us stay in flow. And as Michael said, it's like, how can they forget that you're in the business of real estate when they're always hearing from you?
That's great. That's great, man. You guys, there's some talent on this call. Greg is one of those. So these are you when you have situations and you're looking for something, feel free to reach out to your team. Feel free to reach out to people here that we can help and we can assist. There's an awful lot of things, an awful lot of other notes that I would like to touch on. I know that we're getting ready to run short of time. I would like maybe one of our other people, Rodney or Flora or someone else that was at the event. With the general sessions, there was a special speaker, and I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so somebody can throw that in for me. But this gentleman, Nick, and Nick was one of our speakers, and he's I don't want to call him handicapped because he doesn't act handicapped. He acts much more vital and everything than I am. But he had some very inspirational things that I thought that he told about. And can anyone else, I don't care, Rodney or Flora, someone, maybe you guys can give us what your thoughts were on his presentation.
Well, Pilar put his last name in there in the chat. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but he was, for those of you who don't know who Nick is, there's actually two men with the same condition, both named Nick and both are public speakers. But he was born with no legs and only one arm. And what's funny is that on the one good arm, he only has one finger and it's the middle finger. He made a joke about that too. But what I loved about that is that, he shared with people, he got around people that, and he told the story of wanting to go to work out to build up his body. And it's like, how are you going to lift weights? You got one arm and one finger. How are you going to do this? But anyway, this guy started talking to him that was part of this weight training group. And he says, you know who Tony Robbins is? He goes, no. And he says, well, you're going to be on stage with him someday. And all of a sudden, started getting his mindset to believe that he could be more. And as a result, his being informs his doing then. And I thought he was very, very inspirational. I just want to say also that I'm very inspired by what everyone's been sharing today. Like I didn't hear that about the choose 3 lead generation strategies, do it 3 days a week for 3 hours a day. That's doable, people. That's doable. And years ago, I heard Ken Cragen, he's a talent manager. He managed Lionel Richie and Kenny Rogers and a bunch of other stars in the 80s. He said that if you want to take your career to the next level, he said, I could take a house painter in Des Moines to the next level. He said, the key is to have 3 things happen in very short succession. And you could translate that to your real estate business. Like you meet someone at an open house. So you get their email address and you send them a video saying, hey, it was great meeting you at the open house today. Hopefully we can do some business together or something like that. So there's one contact. Then if you're doing an open house the next weekend, say, hey, come check out this house because you might like it. It has da 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 da. And then the third one would be get their address and send them a handwritten note. Nobody does handwritten notes. Nobody does it. And that's going to set you apart. So I love that though. 3, 3, and 3. 3 lead generation strategies, 3 days a week for 3 hours a day. That's doable.
Fantastic too, and I will have Laura kick it off in a second. But one other thing I wanted to mention real quick too is that I got this from for those of you guys that were there during the John I forget pronounce his last name during his session. And I've already started implementing this because a lot of stuff we do in our business, since we're entrepreneurial, is mindset stuff, right? So like we talk about business goals and goal plan and business planning and stuff. One thing that he said that I'm changing and have already started to change, I even changed the title on my quote unquote business plan, is that we're not making business plans, we're making business commitments. What are you going to commit to? Who cares about the plan? Who cares about the goal? What are you going to commit to? And how are you going to hold yourself accountable to your business commitments? For whatever reason, that really rung out with me, especially with the marketplace the way it is now. I need business commitments that I'm going to stick to no matter what. So just a thought. So I'm going to let my wife, Laura, jump in here, and then we're going to close up. I like to respect everybody's time. I see what she put in there. I like that. I don't show homes, I sell homes. Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Am I closing out? What am I doing? I'm sorry.
Just what you did. Just anything.
Oh, about my takeaways. Oh, yeah.
About Nick.
Oh, Nick. He was so inspiring. I mean, we all wake up and some mornings you wake up and you have a woe is me mentality about yourself or your day or how your life or how your business is going. When you can listen to someone like Nick, who is 24 years old and has done so many things in those short number of years. I mean, I was like, I don't have any problems. My life is perfect. Like I could not hold a candle to what this man has lived through. And he has the most positive attitude you could ever imagine. He took us through this, what would I call it? It was just taking you back into closing your eyes and removing what was in front of you and focusing on times in your life that things may not have gone so well and like what you could have done differently and so forth and so on. And I mean, honestly, after the exercise was over, I know there was some tears in the room. I could hear some sniffing around me. It might have been me. I don't know. But he took us to a place that was him trying to help you to remove yourself from telling yourself that it wasn't okay to have gone through things that you've gone through, and owning it and being able to say it's going to be okay and I can do this instead next time. Or I actually recorded him taking us through that exercise because I want to be able to go through it periodically. But just being able to look at this man with no legs, one arm, and a middle finger, like Ronnie mentioned, and he's just an inspiration. I mean, if you don't know who he is, please Google his name. Look at his Instagram. Look at the amazing things he does. I mean, he's got a small body, but it's fit. And he plays basketball. He wrestles. It's amazing. His life is amazing, and he's got things that none of us, fortunately, can say we are dealing with. But he conquers it all. And we were fortunate enough to meet him. I think it was at Shareholders, and he will tell you in a heartbeat he's a great person, and he'll tell you he's good looking and all of that. But when you are feeling sorry for yourself, Google him and see how your mindset changes.
Thank
Guys,
you for that so much. We're at 2:30, so which was our time commitments. I wanted to again say thank you for everybody that participated, everybody that went, all of you guys that contributed to this call, and last but not least, are those of you that are able to come tomorrow, in person. Michael and I will be doing an event at the IHOP in Valencia, and we are going to be talking specifically about business commitments. And we're going to talk about business commitments to what we need to do and change in 2023 so that we can be successful at it. And why 2023 starts now. It doesn't start in January. It starts now. So we're going to have a workshop with this. If you're able to attend, it's between 10 and 12 at the IHOP. Breakfast will be served. And, we look forward to anyone that can come, and you can bring anyone you like, and anyone that is not an EXP agent is fine. It is not an EXP explained event. We're going to be trying to talk about things we need to do to be productive. All right. I want to thank everybody. I appreciate all you guys for coming, and continue to look out. We're going to continue to do stuff. We probably need another session about this because I know everybody had a lot of notes. I think I went through almost half a page of some of these notes I took. So listen, you guys be blessed. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe and be productive. Again, thank you guys for coming.
Hey, Elgin,
Yeah,
can I
yes.
pronounce his last name, Nick? It's Santo Natasso. Nick
Yeah.
Santo Natasso.
I'll take it. All right, you guys. Thank you. You guys have a good rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.